Hello everyone, once again welcome back in our video series of C programming by TechBooster. So guys, here in this video I have few assignments for you based on the concept of loop and conditional statement. And as always, I'll ask you all to just pause the video here, go through the assignments, and later on if you face any problem in between, you can just start your video again and go through the solutions. So here I'll just give you solution for all the assignments that I have in this slide. And here our first problem is to write a C program to display the multiplication table for any number. So this is very interesting. Here in this case we will write a program which will display multiplication table for any entered number from our users from 1 to 10. So how to do this one? For this I'll again open my code block, and here I'll just create a new file. And here let me save it by the name loop assignment 1. Okay, so this is my assignment 1. So here we'll start with our header file, include stdio.h. then we'll have our main function. Now here we'll have our main program. So here first of all we want to allow our user to enter any number, so we need to have a user input. So let me consider a variable which will be of type integer. So here I will print my message, enter any number for the multiplication table. Okay, so this will allow our user to enter any number. Scanf %d / address operator a. Okay, so we are done. This will allow our user to enter any number. Now once you have your number, here we need to print our multiplication table, and our table will be from 1 to 10. So here in this case I will go with my for loop, but you may have a question like to solve any problem, whether it is better to use while loop, for loop, or do while loop. Everything depends on your logic. Like based on your logic you can consider any one of them. Here in this case I will consider for loop, but what I will say, you can solve the same problem using for loop or using while loop or do while loop as well. So if I talk about my for loop here, based on my syntax, first of all I need to have my initial value. So my initial value here, let me consider int I equals to 1, comma I less than equals to 10. This is my ending condition, and here I plus my incrementing condition. So here what I want, I just want to print the multiplication table. So here I will display this way, print f the multiplication table for %d is, okay, so /n. This is just a simple message. Now here my actual logic. So here what I'll do, I'll use a. So here if I consider my entered value as 5, so this should be 5 into 1 equals to 5. So here what basically I will do, %d into %d equals to %d. Okay, I'm done. So here my first one will be your a, then second one will be my I, and third one will be nothing but a into I. So I'm done. So this will give me my value, and finally here I need to use /n in order to have new line every time. Then we'll have my return 0. Now once you run this particular program, this will allow me to enter any value. So here let me consider 5, and once you press enter you can see, okay, the multiplication table for 5 is, okay, I don't want to print this line multiple times. So what can I do? I will just use this line outside my loop. Now once you run this one, here in this case if I consider 5 again and if press enter, the multiplication table for 5 is 5 into 1 5, 5 into 2 10, 5 into 3 15 and so on till 10. So this is my assignment 1. Here in this case if I consider another value, let me run this once again, and here in this case if I consider 8 and if I press enter, the multiplication table for 8 is 8 into 1 8, 8 into 2 16 till 10. So guys, I hope your assignment 1 is clear. Now let's move forward towards our second assignment. So here our second assignment is write a C program to find distance between 2 points x1, y1 and x2, y2. See here I have two coordinates. First coordinate is your x1, y1 and second coordinate is your x2, y2. And here my formula is root over x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. So basically what I need to do, I need to implement this particular formula. And the reason why I considered this particular assignment here is, here instead of using my header file stdr.h, I need to use another header file, that is your math.h, because math.h header file will give us few other functions like square root and pow. How to use it for this, I will again open my code block and here I will create another file. Let me save this one as loop assignment 2. So we'll again start with our header file and include stdio.h. Then we need to have our main function. Now here basically what I want, as I want to use my function square root and my function pow, I'll include my math.h header file. So that will be your include math.h. Now I will allow my users to enter two different coordinates. So for that, let me consider 4 different values or variables. A, let it be x1, y1, x2, y2. So these are my 4 code like values. Now let me print my initial message. Enter first coordinate. In form of x1 and y1. Now here I will have my scanf function, percentage d, comma percentage d, comma and x1, comma y1. Okay, so I'll just copy these 2 lines. Now here I'll just change this message to enter second coordinates in form of x2, comma y2, and this will be your x2 and y2. So now once you have your input value, that is your x1, y1, x2, y2, now we'll directly implement our formula. So here in this case, your overall value can either be an integer or it can also be a floating value or real value. So in that case, I'll consider my integer type as float answer equals to, here I'll use my square root function sqrt. Now within the square root function, I need to use my pow function, that is to use my square root. Just to use my square. So I'll use my pow, and here what I'll do, x2 minus x1 comma 2. Okay, so this is my x2 and x1. Then again I need to use plus pow. So here we'll have y2 minus y1 comma my power, that is 2. Okay, so I'm done. So this is my formula. So once you have your answer, now you can directly print it. So I'll use my printf function again. Printf distance between the 2 points is percentage f comma ans. Okay, so now again I'll use return 0. Okay, now once done, okay, here I need to use my address operator. I haven't used this one here. Okay, so we are done now. Now you can directly run our program. So once you run your program, here first of all you need to enter your first coordinate. Let this one be my x1, let this one be my x2, and now I need to enter my second coordinate. Okay, so first one was my x1 and y1. Now I need to enter x2 and y2. So let my second coordinate be like 20 and 20. Okay, so once you are done, and now once you press enter, you will have your distance. You can see distance between the 2 points is 11.180340. Like here after this point we have 6 digits. Now if you want to reduce your number of digits, you can do that. I have shown you this one in my previous video as well. Here directly I can use 0.2 just to display two digits after my decimal. Now if I run this one again, and here in this case if I consider same value, let me consider 10 and 15 x my x1 and y1. Let this one be 20 and 20. Now once you press enter, you can see distance between the 2 points is 11.18. Here in this case this is my assignment 2, and I hope your assignment 2 is clear. So guys, you need to practice these things as well, because these things are not that simple. Here once your doubts are clear, you can even solve any other assignment. But first of all, you need to build your logic. Building logic is the most important thing in any of your programming languages. Now let's move forward towards our next assignment. So here I have my third assignment. Write a C program to display diamond shape of star for 5 rows. Okay, so this is my third assignment. First of all, I will move forward towards my fourth assignment. Let me solve my fourth assignment, and then we'll come back to our third assignment. And my fourth one here is write a C program to find factorial of any number. Okay, so we need to find factorial of any number entered by the user. Let me open my code block again, and here I will create another file, and I'll save it as loop assignment 4. Okay, so here again we'll start with our header file. Now we need to have our main function. So here I will consider my integer, and here I will use my printf function to display my message. Enter any number to get the factorial. Okay, so now you will be using your scanf function. Scanf %d comma and operator, and then your variable. So now here we need to use our loop. Here in this case I will use for loop, but if you want you can also go with your while loop or do while loop. So I'll use my for. Now here, before using our initial value and our ending condition, first of all we need to understand what is factorial. Here if I ask you to find factorial of 5, what you will do? You will do 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, and that will give you your factorial of 5. Similarly, you can write it in the other way, like 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. So based on this two logic, you need to set your initial value and your ending condition. So if I show you how to find factorial considering 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. In that case, what I will do, I will consider another variable here. Let me consider ans equals to 1. I have set the initial value of ans as 1, and here in this case I will consider another integer I equals to a. Here a is nothing but the value entered by our user. Then I need to set my ending condition. My condition here will be till I greater than equal to 1, and then I minus minus. So here basically what I am doing, I am decrementing the value of I. So initially your I will be your 5 if I consider my a equals to 5, then it will be 4, 3, 2, 1, and here what I will do, I will basically write ans equals to ans into I. So here what I am doing, my first initial value of ans is 1. So here when I will be considering my first loop, here my value of I is equals to a, that is the value entered by my user. If I consider it to be 5, then here my first ans will be ans into 5, that is 1 into 5, and overall value will be your 5. So my new value of ans after my first loop is 5. Then for my second loop, as I am using my decrement operation here, so for my second loop my value of I will be 4. So again my answer is equals to answer into 4, and your previous value of answer is 5. So this will be your 5 into 4. Then in my third loop, this will be your 5 into 4 into 3, and this will continue till your value of I is 1. And finally, once you have your answer, here you can print it. Print factorial. Factorial is percentage d comma a and s. Okay, so I am done. Now I'll use my return here. So once you are done, if you run this particular code, okay, so here, okay, this should be your print f. We are using C, not Python. Now if you run this one again, here if I use 5, my answer should be 120. Now if I press enter, you can see factorial is 120. Similarly, if you consider 6, this one should be your 720. If I run this one again, if I consider 6, if I press enter, this is a 720. So this is my assignment 4. Here this is the way how you can get factorial of any number. Now again let me show you my second logic. Like if you want to find factorial in the way 1 into 2 into 3 till your n value, then what will be your logic here? So here in this case I'll just consider my value of I as 1, my initial value of I as 1, and here this will continue till your I is less than equal to a, and this will be your plus increment. So here basically what I am doing, I am starting with 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5 till a, and here my logic is, as my initial value is 1, so for my first loop when I is 1, your answer will be 1 into 1, that is 1. For my second loop, answer will be 1 into 2. For my third loop, my answer will be 1 into 2 into 3, and this will continue till my final value of a. Now again if you run this particular problem, and here in this case if I write 5 and if I press enter, you can see my factorial is 120. So this will give me my same answer. So this is the way how you can build your logic. So guys, I hope your assignment 4 is clear. Now let's move forward towards our assignment 3. So this is my assignment 3. So here basically what we need to do, we need to print this particular structure. You can see this diamond shape structure. We need to print this one in our console window. So here basically we have 5 rows and we have all this star. Combination of this star is giving us a diamond shape. So how to get this particular shape? Here basically what I will do, I will use combination of your space and star. Here in this case we have 2 space and then a star. Here in my second row I have 1 space and 3 star. In my third row I have 5 star. Similarly in my fourth row I have 1 space, 3 star, and in my fifth row I have 2 space and 1 star. So I will use this particular logic. So let me once again open my code block and create a new file. Let me save it as for assignment. Sorry, I will name it as loop assignment 3. Okay, so here you need to go through this assignment very carefully, because here we'll build our logic. So this is my header file. Include stdio.h. Now my main function. So here I will consider 4 different variables. Let it be your I, j, k, and count. So here why am I considering 4 different variables? So if I go through my pattern here, you can see here in this pattern, in my first row I have 2 space and 1 star. So here my variable j is for my space. In order to design your space, your variable k is for your star, and your variable I will decide how many rows you are going to work on. So here initially we'll consider 2 different loops. Using my first loop I will design my first 3 row, and using my second loop I will design my fourth and fifth row. And if I talk about my design pattern, here you can see in my first row I have 1 star, in my second row I have 3 star, and in my third row I have 5 star. Here my difference is 2. So that's the reason here in my loop. And also if I talk about my pattern, you can see in my first row I have 2 space. So that's the reason here I'll consider the initial value of count to be 2. I'm considering the initial value of count to be 2. And now here I will start with my I equals to 1, I less than equals to 5, and I plus equals to 2. So here what I am doing, as I've told you, my first loop will be for my first 3 rows. In my third row I have 5 star. That's the reason here my ending condition is I less than equals to 5, and as my difference of star considering my row is 2, like here in my first row I have 1, then 3, and my 5, my difference is basically 2. That's the reason I am incrementing it by 2. Now here within this loop I will consider 2 different loops. One will be for my space and the other will be for my star. First of all I will work on my space. So I will consider for j equals to count, j greater than equal to 1, j minus minus. So basically what I want to design 2 space for my first row. So here I will just print a space and I am done. Now here I will use count minus minus. So here basically what I am doing, my loop will run for 2 times because here my initial value is 2. So first of all for my first row I will print 2 space. As my loop will run 2 times, this particular loop will run 2 times, so I will print 2 space, and then I am decrementing my count by 1 because for my second row I have only 1 space. That's the reason I am decrementing my count. Now here I will use my second loop within your I loop for your star. So I will consider my variable k equals to 1, k less than equals to I. Here I am considering I, as the value of I will change according to that loop your I will change here as well. Now here I will use k plus plus. Don't get confused, I will explain each and every line. Now here I will just print star. Okay, so once done, now here outside this for loop, what I will do, I will use a space. So I will use new line, printf /n. Now let me explain you what am I doing here. So first of all, if I consider my I to be 1, here for my I equals to 1, that is my first row, my j loop, that is this loop, will run twice. So here I will be having two space, and then my k loop will run only once. Because here k is your value of I is 1 for my first loop. So here after your first loop, your second loop condition will not be met, so you will come out of your loop. So this will basically print 1 star. Now as your I loop is not complete, so you will go back, and now your new value of I will be 3, because here I am incrementing by 2. Now again, as I have used count minus decrement, so here your new value of count will be 1. So now my j loop will run only once. So as this will run once, so you will be having only 1 space. And now as your I is 3, now your k loop will run 3 times. So you will be having 3 star. So in my second row, what I am having is 1 space, then 3 star. Now again I will go back, and now my new value of I will be 5. Now here as I am again decrementing my count, so this will be your 0. So your for loop will not run now. So you will be having no space, and your k loop will run 5 times. Now you will be having 5 star. So now if you run this one, you can see this will give you your pattern. You can see this is giving me my pattern, my first, second and third row. So this is my first loop using I variable. Now again I will design my fourth and fifth row. So again I will consider another loop here. So here again I will consider another loop for I equals to 3. Okay, so here I am considering my value of I to be 3. Let it be 1. I less than equals to 3. I plus equals to 2. Okay, so here basically what I will do, let me just go to the pattern once again. So here again I need to have 1 space and then 3 star, and then again 2 space and 1 star. So here my space will increase and my star will decrease. My space will increase, my star will decrease. So again here let me consider my count equals to 1. So here basically again I am replacing my value of count, which was initially 0, to 1. Now again I will work with my j variable for here basically what I want, j equals to 1, j less than equal to count, and your j plus plus, because for my fourth row I want only 1 space. So that's the reason I will run this particular loop only once. So I will use printf space. Okay, so I am done. Now here after your 1 space you need to have 3 star. So I will come down here, I will do count plus plus. I am increasing my count because in my fifth row I need to have 2 space. That's the reason I am incrementing my count to 2. Now here what I will do, for k equals to your 3, k equals to 3, and k greater than equal to I, k minus minus. So here what I am doing, I am basically running this k loop 3 times in order to print 3 star. Print f star. Okay, so once I am done, now here outside this one I will print f. Okay, now new line /n, and here I need to use return 0. Now let me again explain you this particular loop. What am I doing here? So here you can see, now I am considering my initial value of I as 1, my ending value as 3, and I am incrementing by 2. That is, this I loop will run 2 times for I equals to 1 and I equals to 3. So here what I am doing for my 4th row, I am considering only one space. That's the reason my initial value of j is 1 and here my count is 1. So this particular j loop will run only once. So you will have only one space. Now I am incrementing. Then again I am considering this k loop in order to print 3 stars. So that's the reason I am running this k loop 3 times. Here my initial value is 3 and your value of I is 1. So your k greater than equal to 1 and k minus minus. So this will run 3 times. So you will be having 3 star, and then after your 4th row I am printing a new line, and now your value of I is 3. So here your j loop will run twice because your count is now 2. So you will be having 2 space, and here your initial value of k is 3 and here your I is also 3. So your k loop will run only once now. So you will be having only 1 star. So now if I run this particular program, hopefully I will have my diamond pattern. So if we run this one, okay, so I have an error here. Okay, I need to use semicolon. Now if you run this one, okay, so here you can see you have your diamond pattern here. So this is our third assignment. So I hope your logic is clear here. How have I built this particular pattern? So now with this particular logic, I have another assignment for you which I won't be solving here in this video. Let me go back to my slide, and here you can see this is my assignment set 2. Write a C program to display the following 2 patterns. So here you can see I have 2 patterns for you. You need to design these 2 patterns on your own. So based on the logic that I have explained to you just now, you need to design these 2 patterns. Then you have another assignment, that is to design a calculator. I have shown you in my switch case video how to design a calculator. Just here in this case you need to include your division functionality, and when I talk about your division, here in this case you will be having 2 conditions. First of all, if I consider 2 numbers, let it be your n1 and n2, and if you divide n1 by n2, like if any of your user gives your value of n2 as 0, in that case your output should be undefined, because if you divide any number by 0, that is infinity. So you need to display it as undefined, and only when your n2 is not 0, you need to display your output. That is the output of your division operator. So these are your 2 assignments that you have in your assignment set 2. Now with this I will be winding this video here. I hope your assignments are clear. So guys, I will see you back in my next video. Till then, goodbye, take care and practice all these things. Bye bye.